What is going on, guys? Another night here with Worth a Talk, and tonight's guest, please introduce yourself.
My name's Jordan. I'm a photographer out here in Riverside. I'm from Riverside. I have a wife, a daughter, a job, and that's pretty much it. Pretty basic. Aside from photography and working out, that's it.
Well, Jordan, I appreciate you coming here tonight for my podcast. It means a lot to me that you made the time for it. So before we get started, when it's all about you today, I'm going to go ahead and read tonight's quote of the day, and it goes like this. I have found that if you love life, life will love you back. Now, that speaks to me in volumes because for a long time, not only did I blame myself and I blamed others for the things that happened in my life, and I asked, people like God and say, hey, why are you doing this to me? Why is this happening to me? Why are you allowing all these things to happen to me? And I was miserable. The less responsibility I took for my actions, the more miserable I was. I didn't want to admit that these things were my fault because I was maybe insecure or I was scared to say, hey, I'm the problem. And it took me a long time to realize that the sooner that I stop hating everything, hating people, hating life, the more life will love me back, just as it says in this quote. So what do you think about it?
Man, that quote speaks volumes.
Yeah.
It really does. Coming from your side and then coming from anybody else's side, whether it's just going through a tough time, mental battles, or even physical battles, overweight, underweight. It's perfect. You love your life. Your life will love you back, and you give whatever you give your body. That's what your body's going to give out,
Right,
and it
right.
comes in all shapes and sizes.
Now let me ask you, referring to this quote, yeah, I know you were in a motorcycle accident,
Yeah,
and that's something I want to touch bases with you first.
definitely.
I can only imagine how your mind was running after the accident and your feelings and emotions and kind of like a mind, body, soul thing. Were you angry? Were you, depressed? How were you feeling after the recovery of your accident?
That one's tough. It's definitely the most difficult thing I've ever gone through mentally and physically. Losing an arm, you grieve. You're grieving, and the day after my accident, when I found out I was also going to be a father,
Yeah.
that was I had to grow up a little bit faster. I had to like push through it a little bit faster. Definitely, I thought, why me?
Right.
Like that's one thing that crossed my mind all the time, and I sort of had to pick myself up. And honestly, it's really about staying positive. And I know people say that all the time, and it gets annoying, but that's really it. You have to stay positive. You have to look at life from the outside in. I'm not the first person this has happened to.
Right.
It's happened to other people before for thousands of years, and they had no choice but to just keep going, get back on the horse. And
Yeah.
when you realize that life keeps going and you have to keep going, it gets easier.
Right.
It gets
Right.
easier.
That's
It was
awesome.
difficult. It
No,
was difficult, but it's possible.
Now, before your accident, did you ever have any type of scares of like riding your motorcycle? Because this happened on the freeway, right?
Yes.
And then you were riding with your wife's dad?
Family.
The whole family. Okay, so but before that, when you were like learning how to ride a motorcycle, because it wasn't a street bike, right? It was an actual motorcycle.
Yeah, Harley.
Yeah, Harley.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are heavy, and you gotta really, know how to ride them, right? So, did you ever have any scares where you were like, I don't know if I want to do this, or were you pretty confident in riding them?
It was actually a funny story because like a month before that accident, I was in an accident already. I was on my way to a photo shoot. I like got some dirt under the back wheel and I fell off. It messed my ankle up pretty bad, but honestly, it didn't scare me.
Okay.
Like even and I wouldn't consider myself an experienced rider when I went down. But even not being an experienced rider, it didn't scare me.
Right.
Before I knew my arm wasn't gonna come back, people asked me, "Are you gonna get back on? You're gonna get back on?" For the first 2 days, I was like, "No, that was pretty scary. I'm hurting still, maybe not." After a week, I was like, "Oh, okay, I'm ready to go." And then I found out, "Oh, your arm might never work again." And I was like, "It is what it is."
Now, how was the physical therapy for that? I mean, were they trying to get it to basically like work all over again? I mean, because it's nerve damage, right? That you got,
Yes,
right?
yeah,
It's
yeah.
all nerve damage.
So yeah, so what happened was when I landed on my neck, the nerves, I think it was T. I forgot what nerves it was. C something. They all ripped from the spine. So yeah, they took me to surgery. They took some nerves from my leg, put it in my shoulder, tried to like give me shoulder and bicep mobility back, and I got a little bit of shoulder back. And physical therapy, it's not really physical therapy; it's more occupational therapy, just to keep it loose and limb. And that's pretty much it, honestly. Like they were hoping that I would get like bicep flexion back. I haven't got bicep flexion back, but when I would go to physical therapy, it was more just stretching the arm and making
Right.
sure it didn't tighten up.
Now that they give you that permanent diagnosis where it's just like this is what you're gonna have to live with, or is there still hope for the future with it?
The doctor, they let me know like you having full okay, you like the fact that I'll be able to use my hand again. He was like, it might not come back. He said the chance of your shoulder coming back is like a 95% chance. Your bicep coming maybe like 50 to 25. But you ever having use of your full hand again, it's never gonna happen.
Wow.
So yeah, when he told me that, it was definitely like damn, like I was like I'm a photographer, and he told me you're gonna have to find a new hobby. And at that time I was like, I might have to find a new hobby, but I had to sort of just put it on my shoulder and just keep moving
See,
forward.
and that's a good story of someone telling you you can't do something anymore and you're still doing it, and that's fucking amazing, man. That really is, because that's a tough battle to deal with, because you're now living life with one hand. Everything's gonna operate with one hand. Now, let me ask you: were you right-handed or left-handed?
I was right-handed.
So you had to learn.
Yeah, yeah.
All it's like a baby deer learning how to walk, right? It's just your weak hand has to become your strong hand, and you gotta just live life that way. And
For
that's
sure.
that's crazy, man. Because like I've done work with you with photography,
Hmm.
and you took
Hmm.
pictures for me, and my bullshit ass ex girlfriend. But you were like, it's like you had two hands, man. When I was watching you take pictures, I'm like, these are having no issues, no struggles with this. And then you brought your now wife and your beautiful little girl, and man, it was like a normal day for you. You know what I mean? And the thing is, like, the doctor told you find a new hobby, and you said fuck you. I
100%.
love what I'm doing.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
And even though you do have a regular day job, I know your passion is photography, and
Yeah.
hopefully it takes off to where it's like you don't have to work that 9 to 5 anymore, and you can just make all your money through the pictures. Because I've seen your work, I love the work. It's good, it's authentic, and like I said, man, you're punctual and you're all about business, and that's what matters. You know what I mean? You took it serious, just like how I take this podcast serious. You know what I mean? I'm not making any money off of it, but I do it because I
Yeah,
love it, the
yeah.
passion. You know what I mean? And it's fun. It's fun as hell, man. When I first started it, I was like, I'm excited about this, that. So I started making investments on this, started watching other podcast videos to kind of get ideas, saying like, hey, what do I need? I started watching YouTube videos on like what it means to have a podcast and what I need and stuff like that. But so you're married.
Yeah, yeah.
Mr. Jordan Lewis is married. Now, I've known you since high school, man.
It's
So
crazy.
I think I met you when you were a freshman, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, football was the reason why we knew each other. I knew Larry, which was at the time your best friend,
Yeah.
because we played
Growing up, right?
Riverside Rams together.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
that's why I met Larry. And Larry was not the person he was back then that he is now. Well, it was there in high school because he became a amazing football player, but back then he was a scared little kid. You know what I mean? Like we all were.
Yeah.
But what's the married life like? I know you just recently got married, but do you feel a difference from, you know, before being married and then now? Do you guys act any different, or do you guys just now get that little spark of smile calling each other husband and wife?
I definitely think. I mean, obviously, living in the same house, we've lived with each other for a couple of years now. So, in the aspect of like living, it hasn't changed much. But I mean, I feel like our emotions have changed a lot more. Like it is that little sparkle of calling each other husband, wife, and then just knowing. I mean, we're very serious. That's why we waited so long to
Yeah.
get married. We're really serious about marriage. Like we wanted to make sure like this is it.
This is it. Yeah.
This is it. We don't believe in divorce.
Good.
We've never broken up.
Good.
We don't believe in divorce, so we just want to make sure we're gonna go straight through, and this is the person we want to die with.
And I'm sure you guys have gone through your hardships before even marriage, and to still unify that bond and say, I have no regrets, I have no doubts, this is what I want to do. That's beautiful, man. Yeah. I mean, that's a big dream of mine. I hope to one day be able to find someone like you found somebody and share those same moments that way you shared with your wife. Because I know before, you know, your views with women and the struggles with women that you've had before, it wasn't, you know, but all it does is take the right person, man.
That's it.
You take the right person. And when did you meet Alexis? It was your senior year?
My senior year.
And she
going
was
into my senior year.
And she was a junior?
Sophomore.
A sophomore.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. So the beginning of our relationship was, you know, I was about to graduate high school. She still
had 2 more years left.
School, so I had curfew still, you know.
Yeah.
Still had...
So how did you manage all that, man? I mean, because obviously when you get in a relationship in high school, I mean, it's butterflies, it's puppy love. It's just like you want to sneak around, and stuff like that is like an adrenaline rush. It's fun. It's, you know, you want to have that thrill of getting caught. You know, that's what makes everything so fun. But obviously, you graduating, usually what happens is people after they graduate and the girlfriends are still in high school, it's that much easier to just disconnect and say, you know what, I don't live your life, I'm gonna live my life, you know. Yeah. But you guys stuck through it, so that's crazy, man.
Yeah, and I know you have experience with that as well.
Yeah.
So you're coming and asking a good question, but it's definitely just making time for each other. Mm-hmm. That's really it. I mean, she had softball, mm-hmm. I had, you know, adult life work, mm-hmm. And it's just making time for each other. You know, we knew Friday, Saturday, Sundays, one of those days we might be able to hang out, you know. Yeah. So it's just about making time for each other and just communicating, you know.
Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
How were the parents with this? I mean, because obviously they knew you were older, and even when you first started dating Alexis, you were obviously still in high school, mm-hmm. but you were older. Did they take that in any way?
No, I don't think they did. I think, you know, they saw it too. You know, I think her dad is about the same age gap as me and Alexis are with their mom, and so I think, you know, they were really understanding. They mm-hmm. understood it, but they also let me know, you know, you need to understand she's still a minor. She still has softball, mm-hmm. and she has to be home at 10 o'clock. So, mm-hmm. you know, and I think, you know, you have to be an understanding person, especially when you're dating somebody younger. I was understanding. I'm a very understanding person, you know, so I was able to understand that. Yeah, that is their daughter. You know, she's still under their house, under their rules. She has to respect it. You know, you have to bite your tongue every once in a while and just, all right, time to go. Time to go home.
I think the perfect word would be patience. That is, you know, the version of patience right there. That's what patience means, is to understand that, hey, like, the circumstances is not what I want it to be, and I'm gonna just wait it out until it's what it is. You know what I mean? And that's what happened. I mean, once Alexis graduated, when did you guys start living together? After she graduated?
After she graduated. Well, not right after she graduated. Yeah. We started living together when Ariana was born.
Okay. Yeah. And your daughter is 7?
6.
She's 6.
So okay. We've been living together for 6 years now.
Wow. And how? When is your daughter's birthday?
December 14th. So yeah. 3 days ago.
Wow. So she just turned 6.
Yeah.
I for some reason I thought that your daughter was older than mine.
I don't remember.
My daughter's turning 7 in May.
Oh, so yeah, your daughter is older.
Yeah, I kind of swore you had.
They were born the same year, though.
The same year, yeah. But I thought that you had yours before. Mm-hmm. Hey, but you know what? I'll tell you this, man. Your daughter is absolutely gorgeous, and she is a character. From what I've seen, she is a character. I'm pretty sure she has her own personality already, right?
100%. She had her own personality.
Right. Now, because you said you had, you found out you were going to be a father after the accident. How was that process? Mentally for you, what I mean exactly is like mentally, because it's like you're recovering from your accident, you're realizing that you are now going to be limited to certain things that you can do, but now you have to take on a full responsibility of being a father.
So I actually found out I was going to be a father the day after my accident.
Cool.
I woke up from surgery when she, while I was in surgery was when she took the test, and I woke up from surgery. She told me that I knocked back out, like I just passed out. So I think, you know, just having the hope of my arm coming back, like I was able to sort of breeze by that real quick. And then when I found out my arm wasn't coming back, I dislocated my elbow in high school. So I was like, okay, well, I can drive. I can, you know, I might be able to ride a little bit. You know, I'll be able to figure this out. Excuse me. So I mean, it definitely was like trying to. Yeah, you don't think too much about like what can I do. It's just about doing it. Like I'll find a way.
Right, right,
That's
right.
just find a. I'll find a way. It's not can I do it? Will I be able to do this? Just I'll find a way.
But from what I remember, you were always getting injured. Something was always happening to you, right? I think you were always coming to school with some type of cast somewhere, man, right?
Yeah.
You were always getting
Well,
hurt.
it was like my senior year. It was like sometime after like December my senior year. My luck just fell off after that.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. I think I saw you a couple times at school with the cast
Yeah.
because something happened to you. I mean, and none of them. I don't think any of them were football injuries, right? It was just other things you were doing.
One time I had a football injury. It was a knee, and I was
Okay.
walking around with
The brace?
a cast.
Oh,
No,
cast.
not a
Oh.
cast.
Cane?
Crutches.
Oh, crutches.
Crutches.
Okay,
I had
okay.
crutches
Uh-huh.
just because I messed up my knee one time at football. But other than that, no.
Everything
It was
else.
wrestling though. Just
Yeah, yeah. I heard that you did wrestling too, right?
Yeah.
How'd you like wrestling in high school?
Oh, it's fun. It's
Yeah,
fun.
the cardio is different, huh?
Way different. I went into the first day of practice like, oh, I'm a football player.
Right.
Hey, we do cardio.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
normal. No. Nah.
It's completely different, man. It's the condition is ridiculous, man. I don't think I would have been able to handle that. Even just doing track with all the running, I was like, oh,
yeah.
this is tough. But I can only imagine what training is like for wrestling.
Insane.
Yeah.
You drop weight like that.
See, once I found out wrestling wasn't like WWE wrestling, I didn't want to do it. I was like, I don't want to do this, man.
I can't be the.
I was like, I need a stage name. I need a mask. You know what I mean? Where's the rope? I was telling the ref. I was telling the coach. I was like, "Where's the rope? Where's the
Speedo.
ring?"
No, that's true.
No, I'm just kidding. But so I want to talk about your friends, man.
Yeah,
One thing that I've admired about you, and we've talked about this, is that you have had the pleasure and gift of having your close friends ride with you since high school. And coming from a person that's lost a lot of friends through a lot of bullshit, a lot of stupid reasons, and then just kind of my own decision to let go of certain people out of my life, you guys have solidified a bond with each other. And now most of you guys have kids. Most of you guys are married. But you guys are all just there. When I see you guys post, man, I'm fucking jealous. I am. I swear to God, I'm jealous. I'm like, damn. I was like, these guys are out here living life together. Vegas, Big Bear trips, house parties, marriages, and you guys are all in each other's weddings. You know what I mean? And I feel like that is a movie that you're living. That is like what you see in movies. Like the best friends growing up and seeing each other get married, kids, all that stuff. You know what I mean? And dude, fucking, that's amazing, man. So tell me, what is that like? Knowing that you have your friends, and then you have the girls being with the girls and the guys being with the guys. Dude, that's a dream right there, man.
Really is.
So
really.
what it's like? What is it like?
It's pretty amazing actually. Just knowing. I mean, I feel like we don't really think about it too much. Like, oh wow, like we've known each other since high school. Like this is wild, No, we don't think about it. Like we get together and it's just like high school. You know? Like we still bullshit. We still crack jokes. We still talk crap. It's.
I'm sure you guys still act the same, right?
Oh, 100%, 100%. You should see all the wives. They hate it.
Yeah,
they hate it. But it's amazing, honestly. Like when you actually sit and talk about it like you just did. It's pretty crazy when you think about it. It is like a movie, and people. This is what these are the friendships people strive to have, And the fact that we're still so big, like our group, we're still all together, and it's like I don't want to people like ask like, oh, is it hard staying friends that long? Hard is not even the answer. It's like it's just there. It's
second nature.
Second nature, you know. It's like
now the girlfriends and the wives, they seem to be very welcoming to the new girls that come into the the picture for your guy friends. I mean, and I think that's what also helps the guys bond, because they know that if they need to go with the guys, just in their little circle, and while the girls are over there, the girls are gonna take care of your girl, and she's gonna feel comfortable. And the biggest problem in this generation is the drama that women bring, the gossip, the betrayal, the everything, man. And it doesn't seem like that's an issue for you guys. You know what I mean? And I'm sure there's little things here and there, but what you guys post and what you guys do doesn't seem to be fake, and it doesn't seem to be anything but what it is. And a lot of times, and I say that because people post pictures, they post videos, and portray their lives to be happy, but when you talk to them privately, they're fucking miserable.
Exactly.
And they're like,
Yeah.
man, this sucks. They're a terrible person. That's that. That. But those smiles in all your guys' faces just seem so damn genuine. You know what I mean?
They really are, and I think it's just we all sort of have the same perspective when it comes to life, and I think that helps out a lot. And with the girls, they're all outgoing, and I mean, guys have our group message. The girls have their own group message.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think it's just about like when I mean, it's been a while since we have had a new one, but like when we do bring a new one, they bring them in, and most of the time everybody's outgoing. I mean, to date, one of us, you have to be an outgoing girl, because
Yeah.
we're a handful,
Yeah,
We're
man.
not
I'm
we're
sure
not a
you
walk
guys
in the
are.
park. So, I mean, the girls are outgoing. They reflect us, so they all get along. And I mean, I think just having the same perspective in life, just knowing that we all have the same mindset helps out a lot.
Now, in that group, who do you consider your best friend?
They're all my best friend.
You gotta pick one. Who's your best man?
Ryan was my best man.
Ryan. So we can go with Ryan because that's honestly like that's an honor, man.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
an honor. It really is because they can all be your best friends, like you say, but you picked one for a reason, right?
yeah.
And then not to discredit any of the other guys because I know most of them. We play sports together,
you know all of
and
them.
and
You know
even
all of
after
them.
high
Yeah.
school. A couple of them I've worked out with, and even some like Byron and Damon.
Yeah.
We grew up together in football. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When they were chunky and the
Awkward.
awkward. You know what I mean? And their dad. The same with their dad.
Yeah.
He's coached us, and
We still go to his house.
yeah. So it's an honor to be chosen as a best man. It really is because it's saying that I'm bringing my wife and we're gonna get married and solidify this bond in front of God, but by my right side is my right hand man that if I need something and if I need it whenever at whatever time, that is the person that I'm gonna call. That is the person that I look up to. That is the person that I would go to the ends of the earth for. You know what I mean? And I'm sure that you would do that for all your friends too. But like I said, the best man is just they just have that privilege of knowing that when they're chosen, like you see them a little bit different from everybody else, and it's not a bad thing. You know what I mean?
No, it's just with Ryan, like obviously you said me and Larry were best friends in high school, so everybody thought like, oh, you guys are gonna be best friends forever.
Yeah.
And I mean, he sort of parted his way, and I parted my way. We're
Yeah.
back together now. But with Ryan, we sort of got close. When Lexus got pregnant,
Okay.
and when she got pregnant, he was working at Capone's and I was working at Walmart, and I was like, you know what, like we're hiring, like I can get him a better job than Capone's, and nothing on Capone's, I just thought like, maybe I can help him out, so I brought him, asked him if he wanted to apply. He was like, oh, I'm actually looking for work. It worked out perfectly.
Okay.
So we worked in the same department for about 2 years. I think it was about 2 years, maybe a little less. And through those times, Lexus gave birth, and I saw him have a daughter, and then he was like, bro, your first kid's gonna be a daughter, and we just got close. And then obviously our friend group was still there, so we're all hanging out, and then obviously because I work with Ryan, we're like, talking about work stuff, laughing, and then it just built on from there. And then I had my daughter, and he was like, bro, I told you were gonna have your daughter. And then it just grew, and then from there, I think we started working out. Well, he got me into working out again at HB.
Yeah.
And from there, it just kept growing, and then
Yeah.
it turned into him coming over every weekend, and we'd just get drunk and just talk about random shit,
Everything,
and then everything, problems, happiness.
And Ryan's a good guy, man. I know he's been through a lot. The recent passing of his father, and
Definitely.
him obviously also being hurt with the separation between him and his daughter's mom. Not to get too much deep into that, but I've had my conversations with him. Make sure that he is okay, because when he was going to HB, that happened with him and his baby mama was fresh, and then I was always trying to send him something positive or reach out to him, because I know when his father was in the hospital, he was letting me know that what was going on, and I was talking to him and just hoping that everything was going to be okay. And once it wasn't, then obviously I sent my regards to him. It's tough. I lost an uncle to COVID, but I can only imagine what it was like to lose a father. And I know he looked up to his dad a lot, and rest in peace to his father. But I see him now making the best of his life, and still the things that he's doing, making his father proud, because he's EMT now, right?
EMT, yeah. Or AMR, yeah.
It's That's freaking big because those
Luxury
hours
was
not
wild.
only suck, but in the future it's so beneficial for his future and his daughter and his now girlfriend, and I'm sure he's gonna marry her and have another kid too and stuff like that. So kudos to him and all that stuff. Working out has never been your cup of tea from like the beginning, but when you got into it, I know that you've found the passion to get in there and really better yourself. And after the accident, I think the one thing that I respect you the most for is those days where I was going at 4 in the morning and I saw you there before I was there. That was freaking crazy, man. And I respected you so much for that because it's like you didn't let this accident stop you from living your life. I'm sure that maybe you were a little bit down and you kind of were like, I hate this, I hate that, or maybe whatever, but you continue to live your life as if you never got into that car accident.
Yeah.
And, although you're working out with one arm, you're still there working out with that one arm. I mean, I saw you benching 100-pound dumbbells, you know what I mean? And still working on your legs and doing everything you possibly could to do that. And man, I respect you so much for that because there was people when I was really deep into my fitness, there was people out there that would hit me up and be like, Mark, like, work out with me, teach me this, teach me that. And even you, like, you never trained to be a professional bodybuilder. You never got so deep into the knowledge of working out and stuff like that. But you learned as you went and you adapted. And that is what I respected you so much for because, like I said, people are out there just making excuses for everything. And you're there at like 3:30 in the morning working out looking like shit, like you just woke up and looking like shit, but you're there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like it's so. What was that like? Like getting yourself to get up every morning when you didn't have to. I mean, technically, you didn't have to get up that early.
No,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? You didn't have to because I think your job schedule was a little bit different, but you didn't have to get up that early. But you still did. What motivated you to do that?
I think it was just, you know, having the time with my daughter after work. I
Mm-hmm.
obviously could have gone to the gym after work, but I love going at 3 in the morning because I know I can. It's a good way to start the day. No matter if
100%.
you work at 9,
Mm-hmm.
10, go to the gym first, get it out of the way. You'll go to
Yeah.
work motivated. You'll start your day motivated. It's
Mm-hmm.
so much better, but it definitely was just having time with my daughter after work.
Yeah.
Clocking out and being like, oh, I'm done for the day.
Yeah.
I can go home,
Dad
spend the
mode.
next 4 or 5 hours with my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was a main motivation. And I think that was a motivation to even getting in the gym with my daughter, especially with COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Like I saw the pattern, like people that were, I don't want to say out of shape, but just unhealthy.
Mm-hmm.
Those were the ones that were getting the sickest.
Mm-hmm.
Those were the ones passing away. And everybody that was still going to the gym was breezing through COVID. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay, this isn't
Yeah.
something's not making sense. And
Yeah.
then obviously you get into working out, the health comes with it. You realize the
Mm-hmm.
health part
Mm-hmm.
and you realize, okay, you want to be healthy, you need to eat healthy food. You
Yeah.
want to treat your body healthy.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. And it's when it comes to working out, I tell people all the time, it's gotta be 80% diet,
100%.
20% lifting weights. And weight training is the best form of not only strength but just losing weight and all around. Um, but I tell people all the time, you can go to the gym 6 days a week for 2 hours, train your ass off. But if you go home and you're overeating and you're eating crap with it, it's not going to benefit you. But
At
then
all.
if you're under eating, it's not going to benefit you neither, unless you're doing some type of super caloric deficit where you're just trying to dramatically lose weight. But starving yourself was never the way. And I tell people all the time, so do not starve yourself. You're gonna be weaker because you're malnourished. Like you're lacking all type of nutrients.
And your
that you,
body's smart.
yeah,
It'll adapt and then your metabolism's gone.
yeah, dude. I mean, the thing that sucks though is because when I got COVID 3 times, the first time was the worst. Second time wasn't too bad. The time I didn't even feel it, but I got it. I tested positive for COVID. My immune system was terrible, bro. After I was getting sick for every little thing, every little weather change, every little bacteria, whatever was causing me to get sick. It was getting me sick, and I was just
Jeez.
causing. And I kept getting strep throat. I kept getting cold, flus, blah blah blah. It sucked, man. It sucked. So, did you get your COVID vaccines?
I did not.
Yeah.
Are we allowed to? Am I
Yeah, you
clear?
know you're good.
Am I
Yeah,
clear?
FBI's gonna be knocking right now. Dude, I did,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
my doctor has been telling me that it may be the cause of why I'm having such heart issues. Because earlier this year, I had a heart attack. I don't know if I told you. Did I tell you about that before?
I think so. Yeah, a couple
Yeah,
weeks
yeah,
ago.
yeah.
Yeah,
When we were at the coffee shop. Yeah, yeah,
crazy.
dude. It's and I'm like
That's
I'm
scary.
28, bro. I'm 28, and trust me, it was a horrible feeling, man. I felt like it was like I thought I was done right there, and it was scary. Like I was praying, I was just trying to think that like it, like anything, like please just let me like get past this because it felt like my heart was trying to come out of my chest, and it was getting harder and harder to breathe, and I didn't want to wait around for the ambulance. I figured if I got drove into to the emergency room, it'd be a lot faster. Maybe it can make a big difference. So I don't know how I was thinking about all these things, but my mind was racing with a million thoughts
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
process of gasping for air and having so much chest pain to a point where it just hurt, man. It was like someone was trying to stab you through your chest, and it sucked. It's scary, and it actually limited me to my working out. They told me no pre workout.
Wow. Yeah, yeah, that makes sense.
For a while I couldn't elevate my heart too much, so I wasn't working out. I spent too much time just resting. I was scared to work out for a while, and I haven't really been back to the gym in I think like 4 or 5 months.
Oh wow.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah, yeah.
it's been bad. I mean, I've been seeing a cardiologist and doing my
It's
visits,
scary.
getting blood
It's
work, stuff
scary.
like that, because when I did try to work out, or if I did try to go for a run, I would say it was a scary feeling
No, it
because
has to
my
be.
heart was just racing, and little things that I would never like have trouble breathing with was it was happening. Little exercises. You know what I mean?
Scary,
So,
scary.
I mean, imagine going to the gym when you're at your most tired with no pre workout. Because the pre workout at the end of the day is a big help. It,
Yeah,
it, it
yeah.
pushes you and allows you to reach those limits and go beyond them. Because I've tried not using pre workout for like a month. That was hard.
It's difficult.
It's hard,
It's
especially when we would go as early as we did. I
yeah,
needed it.
yeah.
I needed it because I was still waking up. I was still tired. I was still trying to find my groove. And when I take that pre workout, it just hits you like that, and
You're good to go.
you're
You're
good.
good
And
to go.
once I start burning that hot and I'm sweating, that's why I know it kicked in pretty good.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, man, it sucks. But what about you? Are you still going to the gym at all?
Yeah, yeah.
What gym are you going to?
I go to 24 now.
Which
Yeah.
one?
The
The
one
one
in
in
Fontana.
Fontana.
Yeah, yeah. I hit it. I go 3:30 again.
That's the one next to the Ross, right in that little shopping center. There's a Target and
Target.
Ross.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah. That's
Okay,
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
dude. That's a
Pretty
pretty
good.
big. I when I was living in Fontana, that's the 24 I was going to.
It's nice. I've been there for 3 months now. For the last 2 years, I was at East Sporta, which is sister company of LA Fitness.
Yeah, like the Spanish version of
Yeah, I guess, right?
Esporta.
Esporta.
Esporta. I thought it was like it was it's Spanish, isn't it?
No, I don't know.
No, I
I
don't
have no
know, but
idea.
I was like, oh man, I know they had one in San Bernardino, so I was like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
They have a Spanish LA Fitness or something, but yeah,
They're buying them out, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So
So what, man? You're 27,
yeah, yeah.
and when's your birthday?
April 20th.
April 20th, and so you're turning
420.
28. That's my daughter's mom's birthday.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I actually it would pop up like you would post her like, "Oh, happy birthday," and I'd be like, "Oh,
he didn't wish me happy birthday. So, do you have anything planned for your birthday next year? I mean, since you're married, I mean, I'm sure your wife is gonna want to do something big for your birthday. I mean, what do you think?
no, bro,
Really?
I'm not a big birthday person. I grew up Jehovah's Witness.
Did you really?
Yeah, yeah.
Holy
So
shit, I didn't
I
even know
mean,
that.
until middle school. Middle school, I sort of went through my middle school phase, and they just say it's a complicated situation after that. But my grandmother was Jehovah's Witness. My mom wasn't. So I would go with my grandma up until middle school, and then I grew up not having birthdays because we lived at my grandma's house. So no birthdays, no Christmas. I didn't experience any of that. So birthdays around this time of year. I mean, Alexis threw me a surprise party I think 2 years ago, and I mean now we probably just go to dinner.
But those surprise parties make you feel like a little kid again, huh?
100%. I
Yeah,
was surprised. I was like,
yeah,
"What is this?"
yeah.
Like I've never had this.
Yeah, I'll never forget when my daughter's mom did that for me for my birthday in 2020.
Hmm.
This is right before COVID, and this is actually right before me and her separated for good.
Wow.
She threw me a surprise party, and she put so much effort into it, man. Like, she had my best friend take me out, and she was trying her best to get everybody there on time. I know she had a little bit of trouble. Some people showed up a little bit later, but the effort that she put in, man, like, I cried because a little different from you, but my dad was not the person to celebrate birthdays. Like, he'd say that he'd do something for you, but he wouldn't come through with it. It'd be
Yeah.
like $20 and an ice cream cake with just my sister and my brother. That was full of drama and stuff
Yeah.
like that. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it was hard to get my friends together because it's like, what am I gonna do? Have them just come to my house and just sing for me, and then that's it. You know,
Yeah.
because my dad was not the person to invest any money into us as far as birthdays. Sports, hell yeah, he'll buy me the best cleats.
Oh, yeah, you were
he'll
fitted out
yeah, man, yeah. But here's the thing though, and I'm not afraid to admit this. I was always asking people to let me borrow their shit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because and I hate to say this, and it's fucked up to say this, but I knew it.
Yeah.
I was like, I knew they weren't gonna play.
Yeah.
You
yeah.
know what I mean?
Definitely.
So I was
yeah.
like, let me borrow your gloves. Let me borrow you. And I would have
Yeah,
some
yeah,
nice
yeah.
shit. It was other people's shit.
Yeah,
I think I asked you to borrow something before. I'm sure I have,
No,
bro.
I wasn't fitted though. I didn't have.
Dude,
I didn't have the fits,
bro. I was always taking people's shit.
Yeah.
I always was. And it was literally because I knew they weren't going to play.
Yeah. Yeah.
And because some of the guys that did not play ever have the best shit. And I'm like,
Definitely
this makes no sense. Let me just take this from you. Let me use it. But I was a jock, bro.
Yeah.
And I was kind of an asshole. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? The definition of a jock, man. I was, for some reason, man, as skinny as I was so cocky for football. I knew here's the thing about me. I knew I was good at football, but I was only high school good. You know what I mean? I never tried to go past that.
Yeah.
Like Malcolm and like Samaje, they went to college
beast.
and did really freaking well.
Yeah.
Like, I knew I was good, but I wasn't good enough to go there. And I wasn't afraid to admit that. It wasn't my thing. I honestly felt like I got to live my high school dream, which was be varsity captain, be a starter, and have a beautiful girlfriend. And honestly, I still believe Jackie was one of the most beautiful girls I ever been with in high school. And the time we were together, I felt like she was looked at her best. And not saying that she looks bad right now, but she looks amazing right now. But back then, I was just head over heels for her, bro. And
Yeah,
on top of all the bad shit I did, there was still like that. I still care and love for that girl. You know what I mean? At that time. But unfortunately, I ran into some issues because of, Bear. And, unfortunately, I never wanted to things that go out that way, because at a certain point, me and Bear were friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we all hung out together. But after him and her broke up, I just decided to kind of like just slither in there and be like, hey, like, talk to me.
Yeah.
And it happened. And I think he felt a big sense of betrayal, but jealousy. I don't know what it was, because from that point on, it was just like he would just send her messages, to kind of harass her a little bit. And I always blew it off for all of my senior year until the end, where were you there when we were at the football field with Greg and Larry and
I
Bear?
remember this.
Were you
Yeah,
there at the
yeah.
football field?
I think so.
Man, dude, I don't know what came over me, because I hadn't gotten to a fight since freshman year.
Yeah.
When I went to Poly, man, I was fighting all the time, and that's why I got kicked out of Poly. It's such drama, man. And I was like I was going all year, all the 3 years without having any problems, until I started dating Jackie, and then the whole Bear thing happened, and I just couldn't take it anymore, man. And I felt like I needed to do something, and I really just wanted to scare him. I really didn't want to cause him no harm, but obviously we went to the football field, and he invited me to go play football, because I know he always liked to play football, like just whatever flag or contact, whatever he'd like to do. And I knew I kind of took advantage of it, because I knew that he'd like to do that. So he invited me willingly, knowing after he had sent her some specific messages that I was like not okay with. So that's when I decided to like confront him about it. And he knew the closer I got. We were playing catch. It was just me and him. And the closer, every time he would throw the ball to me,
I vividly remember.
I was walking closer to him.
It's crazy.
I was walking closer to him. So every time he throw it, I throw it back. I'm walking closer. And he started noticing that I'm getting too close. So he already went on defense and said, "Hey, I didn't say anything." And I was not gonna do anything. I was literally gonna talk to him. But the fact that he lied to me so fast before I even got to ask him anything, I knew that he was just lying.
Yeah.
So I swung on him, and I just saw how defensive he was, and I didn't feel good about it. So once Greg and I had told Larry and Greg not to get involved, but they ended up getting involved, and I'm glad they did because I really didn't want to hurt him.
Yeah.
But then fucking Larry, man. Remember, I brought my two friends. It was Jordan Farfan, and Joey Magana.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
God. I don't know what the hell happened, bro. But Larry just goes and calls him out. Jordan Farfan. And Jordan, he was not gonna back down. He just wasn't that person. Yeah, and no matter how small he was, he just never was that person to back down. Whether he knew he was gonna lose or not. Because I'm not gonna lie to you, Larry was scary back then. Oh, he was Larry. So unpredictable, but he was so fucking strong. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I knew he was strong, and because I would feel his hit sometimes when we play football. Like I'm like, this dude's strong. He's a lot stronger than he was before. So I'm like, nah, like I don't know what the fuck, like we're only here for one reason. Like we're done, like we're leaving. Yeah. But Larry was like, he was ready, mouthpiece, and Larry was ready. I didn't want Larry to do anything because Jordan was my best friend at the time.
Yeah, yeah.
But Jordan was like, just fuck it, I'll do it. And I'm like, okay, cool. And I wasn't on neither side because Larry was my friend too. Yeah, I always cared about Larry. He was we grew up together in a sense, and I didn't want nobody to win. But when I saw Larry rock Jordan the way he did, I was like, damn. Because he rocked him bad, bro. Yeah. Like, he stunned him. And Larry was just going crazy after. I'm glad Larry stopped, though, after that hit because he cut his whole lip open. Like, his lip was, like, open like this. You can see his tooth. Because we took him to the emergency room after, so he was just telling us like, "Don't tell my parents I got into a fight. Just tell we fell and slit myself open." So at that time, I was already driving my car, so I drove him to the emergency room, and
got that
stitched up. It was bad. Wow. I mean, he still has a scar right now, obviously, but man, it was like a UFC hit, bro. Yeah. It was. And Larry was a fighter, man. Yeah, yeah. He was a fighter.
He even did a fight.
He did, yeah. He did a one MMA fight.
One MMA fight.
Yeah. How come he didn't pursue it anymore?
I don't. Maybe it was work.
Yeah.
Life. I don't know, but he did good too. He didn't win that fight, but they got fight of the night.
Yeah.
And he did good.
Yeah, he's a fighter, man.
Yeah, he's a fighter.
And it came out of nowhere too, because he wasn't always like that.
No, I mean I didn't. I've known him my whole life too.
Yeah, he was not like that. So that's
pent up anger.
I'm sure that's what it was, man. Yeah. And when he was doing it with the UFC, doing the MMA fighting, I mean, that's the best way to control it. That's the best way to.
It teaches you how to control
100%. Yeah, and you have to control it because I mean,
licensed hands.
You're licensed hands, yeah. So it's dangerous to go out there and fight people because you can kill them. You know what I mean? But look, talking about everything I talked about with you, man. Not only do I respect you, I appreciate you and I love you, man. It's good to know that after all these years that we've known of each other, we're here right now as adults. You have a child. I have 2 kids. You're married. I'm not married, but I want to be married. But I have nothing but respect for you, man. And I think the things that you're doing are great, and I want you to keep doing them. I want you to continue to strive in life, and I wish you nothing but the best. You have a beautiful wife. You have a beautiful daughter. Are you guys gonna have any more kids?
That's a plan.
Well, how many more do you guys want? Just one more, or
maybe like 1 or 2,
4 or 5? How many does she want?
I think she's solid with 1 or 2 too. We don't. I don't think we want a too big family, but we want at least 2 siblings to grow up pretty close to each other. So we feel bad for Ariana just because she's the one that's not going to be close with the siblings.
Yeah,
but, I mean, obviously they're siblings, so she will be.
But it's just the age gap. The way they play with each other, she's already going to want to be,
She's not even going to want to hang out with them.
Yeah, she's going to be wanting to watch, whatever she likes to watch, and then they're going to be still playing with toys. And,
exactly.
Yeah, so I get it because my daughter's the same way too.
That's true.
When she met my son, obviously the attention span's a little bit different, and my she's kind of already established her mentality, the things that she likes and doesn't like. My son is still saying like, oh wow, to everything, you know what I mean? So, but they did so well with each other, and I think once Ariana knows that she's gonna be a big sister, she's gonna.
Oh, it's gonna change.
My daughter was just ecstatic, bro.
Yeah.
She was so happy to know that she had a sibling,
And they're not alone anymore, you know?
not alone anymore. Because my daughter, the difference between me and my daughter's mom is that I have friends that have kids.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't. So when she's with her mom plays with her. Mom does this and that with her, but she doesn't have any kids to play with her.
Yeah.
Me, I make sure that I always kept friends that had kids because the play dates, the
all get together, yeah.
all get together, and you guys have that too. You know what I mean? I know some of them are, like Jose's barely gonna have a baby.
Yeah,
And who just had a baby?
Byron
Byron
and
just
Cody.
had a baby, right?
Byron and
they
Cody.
just had a baby,
Yeah.
so that's obviously that's gonna take time. But then you got Raylene. You got this is just Raylene.
Raylene and Ariana are the
The
two
only two.
oldest ones.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, I mean that's something though. You know what I mean?
they're
It's better than
2 girls.
nothing.
They're-
You know what I mean?
They're best friends when they get
Exactly.
together.
So that's great. You know what I mean? Because it's hard for those kids. You know what I mean? Because I know when we grew up, well, at least when I grew up, I had all my cousins. I had my two brother. I had my brother and my sister, and then I had the friends that I had, and
Yeah,
it was a lot easier. Now it's just difficult. It's a little more difficult. Let me ask you one more thing. I know. At what age did you lose your father?
I was 14.
14.
Yeah.
So, how was that for you?
That was a tough time.
Mhm.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I was a problem kid, you know.
Yeah.
I wasn't fighting people like Larry or nothing. But
Shout out to Larry.
I wasn't fighting people, but I got caught with drugs in high school, and I got expelled my freshman year for a little bit, and I was able to come back eventually. But when I was out of Ramona when my dad passed away, obviously I still hung out with everybody from Ramona, so everybody knew. But it was definitely difficult, just going through being expelled, and losing your dad. It's hard, and then you just have to grow up a little bit faster.
Yeah.
And you have to sort of just, I think, honestly, as a kid, you don't live in a real world. You're mentally not in a real world. You don't know real life. And I think experiencing something traumatic like that at such a young age just, puts you in that real life. Like, oh, boom, life is real,
Yeah.
You can lose somebody tomorrow.
Right.
And I think that just opened my eyes at a young age, just realizing like tomorrow's not promised,
Right.
And it definitely, it wasn't easy. Even after, it wasn't easy. It's still not easy. Death isn't an easy thing, and it's not supposed to be. But it's just, you just got to keep again pushing forward, and moving forward for him, and and I think that helped me be a better person. And I did quit drugs for a little bit after he passed away because he wouldn't have wanted me to
Right.
be in continuation school. And he wanted me to live life and have fun. And
Now, was his like a natural cause?
yeah, it was cancer,
It's cancer.
Cancer.
What kind of cancer?
leukemia.
Fuck.
Yeah, he passed away from leukemia. He had 3 different kinds of cancers, I think, within like 6 years.
Was
Leukemia
that like a genetic thing? Was it run from the family? Or
I don't
was it-
believe so.
No.
I don't believe it was. I'm not too sure if they know exactly how he got it, but I mean,
It's just one of
honestly,
those unfortunate cases.
yeah,
If you have it.
And I mean, growing up now and again, getting into health, diet plays a big factor in everything. And he wasn't healthy. I don't want to say like, back then. I look at it now like we would eat fast food all the time, and
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Detrimental to your health.
exactly. And
Yeah.
we cook from home, but it's just like little things that you realize now. It's just
Now, what was it like to not only have to deal with it for yourself, but understanding that now you're the man of the house, having your mom and then having your sister and your little brother, because it's like whether you like it or not, you had to play a role in being there for them because I'm sure it was hard for them as well too. Them being a little younger than you, but not. I mean, your sister not so much, but your little brother obviously being really, really, really young. Was he born yet or?
yeah.
Yeah,
He
he
was
was born.
he was I think 6 when my dad passed away.
Yeah, man, that's tough.
It was difficult, definitely. Like and as a high school kid, I was still a high school kid. I still wanted to go out and party and do all the high school stuff, but I didn't feel like a man at the house. Like I didn't feel like, oh, like yeah, I'm the man of the house. I need to protect all you guys. It didn't feel like that. It was just more like just being there for my brother. But again, I was busy with high school stuff.
Yeah, you're still trying to live your life
Yes,
and
yes.
coping it with your own in your own way.
Yeah, I realized it a little bit more after high school. Okay, it still didn't feel like I was protecting them. I feel like we all had each other's back.
Yeah, that's
And
good.
that's what a family's supposed to feel like.
100%. 100%. Well, the reason I bring that up, man, is because it's like you're a father, right? And you want to do everything you possibly can to stay healthy, to make sure that you live long enough to watch your daughter grow up, walk her down the aisle, stuff like that. Because I'm a firm believer that, you know, our kids are be the ones to bury us. We're never supposed to bury our kids,
Yep.
right? We're never supposed to, miss out on anything for our kids. We're supposed to be there from until our last dying breath. So it comes back to me telling you how much I respect you and for what you're doing, because you've changed your life around. Not saying that you were that much horrible, but I know only so much from your childhood to from freshman year and stuff like that. But I know some of the stuff that you went through,
Yeah.
going from freshman, sophomore, junior year, while I was at Ramona with you. I know school wasn't always easy. Relationships weren't always easy. Me and you both went through our hoe phase and our just kind of like our player ways. You know what I mean? Because I mean,
It's high school.
it was high school. I knew that I was a womanizer, man. Like it came with a little bit of the cockiness that I had of myself. I mean, I had a lot of insecurities. I was really good at hiding,
Oh, yeah,
but for the most part, it was just like there's cute girls, and I was like, I just wanted them all. And I'm not saying that exactly that you were that way, but you went through your troubles with dealing with your relationships and how things played out for them. But at the end of the day, the best thing that I could tell you is that those mistakes that you made just completely led up to you finding the woman of your life. Is your wife. You know what I mean? So it's not necessarily a bad thing. We just had to go through hardship. We had to go through and deal with our consequences that came with the bad things that we did to get to where we are now. And look where you are now, man. Like you look happy. You do things that you love. You're still living your life normal. And you're not letting anything stop you. And I respect you for that. I'm the one thing that I want to tell you that I don't know if people tell you this a lot or you hear this at all, but I'm fucking proud of you, man. I am proud of you. I know we're not close. And like even at this podcast, we don't have to be close, but just to know that you're still around, and I know that you're okay, and I know that you're doing good. That's more than enough for me, because I know you got your group, and you guys take care of each other, and I'm just someone that's gonna be supporting you from afar and just saying, hey man,
both ways.
You know what I mean? So and it's amazing to know that we graduated. We're not at our peak, our at our lives where we exactly want to be, but the potential to get there is still there. Oh my God, man, we're still young. I'm gonna turn 29, which sucks. Yeah, I mean, I wish I could be 23 for the rest of my life, because 23 was, the year that my daughter was born, and I had some great experiences in life. But, part of growing up is understanding that change is okay.
Yeah.
And we've seen a lot of change in our life. We've seen people come and go, and we've seen, people around us change. And the best thing is to keep those people that bring nothing but positivity to us and encourage us and just guide us to a better life, because life is short. Tomorrow's never promised, and you don't know who's gonna be gone until it happens. And you don't want to be at that end. You don't want to be at the end
saying it's
saying
it's too late.
It's too late. Living in regret. So one thing I always will encourage you, man, is tell your friends that you love them. Tell them that you're there for them, and just make sure that they're okay. A lot of men are scared to deal with depression or mental struggles and stuff like that. I was one person that was so hard to. It was so hard for me to express myself and say I have depression, I have this, I'm struggling. But once I became open, man, the relief of life that I got was just it's different. Some people are scared to talk about it. So just make sure your friends are okay, love them, appreciate them, and don't ever take them for granted. Same with your family. And I know you won't. I believe that you and Alexis are gonna live the rest of your guys' life together, have more kids, and be the perfect example for your kids to have. Your daughter is gonna look at you and say, "This is the man that I want, type of man that I want to marry." and that's gonna be your one job in this world, is to make sure that your daughter does not marry a fucking loser. Oh, you know what I mean? But you know, you're a protector.
Yeah.
You know, you're a protector, and that's what you're gonna be, not only for your daughter, but your wife, friends, stuff like that. So, yeah, Jordan, this is it, man. I appreciate you coming on here to my podcast. If there at any time, man, you want to come back here, you got some stuff you want to leave off your chest, man, this is the place to do it.
Yeah, I'll be back.
But I appreciate you being here, man. We're going to go ahead and close it out with this. Okay. Thank you, everybody who is going to be watching this video. I love you guys. I appreciate all the support. People like Jordan supporting me by just being on my podcast means the world to me. I started off with this with a idea and a plan to just help and talk to people that not only have not talked to in a long time, but just catch up and just help whoever needs it. Maybe just be a voice to those people that don't feel like they have a voice. So Jordan, thank you for tonight, man.
Thank you,
appreciate you, and I love you, brother.